Welcome to practice. I'm Donna Cavanough, and we're going to begin sitting on your mat. And if you've got a blanket handy, always nice to sit up a tiny bit higher. And just being aware of your sitting bones and trying to be right on the front of them, lifting the spine. Shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed, and your head balance of your heart over the pelvis. Taking some deep breaths now and feeling the rib cage expand with the breath. Good. And then we're going to make a circle the head around the shoulders. So ear towards shoulder, chin towards chest. And you don't have to make it a really big movement, but explore how your neck feels. Notice how slowly feels good for you. Or we don't want to throw our heads around quickly. So just getting used to the feeling in your neck at the beginning of this practice. And then when you get your chin to your chest, next, change direction. Might be a little bit crackly. Find if I drink more water, it's less crackly. Good. And then we're going to take the shoulders around in a circle around your seat. And get your shoulders moving and your chest moving. Feel that satisfying flow of the breath. And all of the little movements available in your spine, your shoulders and your chest, and then the other direction. Nice. Back to center. And then we're going to take the diaphragm around in a circle around your seat. So really concentrating on that lower cross section of your rib. And we're still finding that satisfying deep flow of breath. Ooh, noticing where you move, where your body feels a little locked up maybe or resists the movement. But let yourself follow the diaphragm. And then the other direction. Nice. We're going to balance on the back of the pelvis now. So your feet are off the floor in front. Hold the front of your knees and really lift your spine so your spine feels like it's in a healthy position. Relax your shoulders. And you're using the front core particularly and the side core of your body to hold your spine. Good. And then we're going to do the ankles in a circle. And they're going to go in the same direction. So they don't bump into each other. The feet don't bump. So ankles go in the same direction and exploring the movement in your feet, your toes, but really holding your spine in a position that feels good. So no strain for the spine. If you were feeling that, you could do one foot on the floor and just do one ankle at a time. I think we've changed direction. If we haven't, do that the other way. Good. And then we're going to hold the back of the thighs. And if you don't need to, you're feeling strong, you can put your arms out. Otherwise, hold the thighs. And let's take the lower legs, point the toes, and we're going to do a circle in the air with the toes. Okay, keep lifting the spine. And then the other direction. So you can do that holding on, you can do that letting your arms out in front, but keep lifting the spine. Keep breathing. Nice work. And release. And put your legs back down. Sitting tall again. And we're going to do the arms, and we're going to make circles with the hands and the forearms from the elbows. So try to keep your elbows or your upper arms by the sides of your body. I'm going in opposite directions. So we try to keep the elbows still, upper arms by the sides of the body, and you get your forearms and your hands to move where they will, and then the other direction. Nice. We're going to do some shoulder roll, up and back, up and forward. Great. And then all fours. Arching the spine up and down. Stretch your fingers out wide. Press the fingerprints, the base of the index fingers. Stretch your thumb. Good. Tuck your toes under. Take your hips back towards your heels. Good. And reach your arms as far forward as your shoulders allow. So you'll notice you've got your legs and your arms parallel here. Letting the toes stretch. Good. Bring your elbows to the floor and have your forearms as parallel to each other as they'll go. Or if you're like me, restricted in your shoulder, you can bring your palms of the hands together. We'll take the knees back a little and arching the spine up and down. Enjoying the flow of your breath and the movement that you find in your body, even any restriction. So good to connect. Great. And then we're going to lay down onto our tummy, our collective tummy. And bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, forearms parallel. Stretch your fingers wide. Press the tops of your feet into the floor. Lift the kneecap. Lift the belly off the floor and the chest and draw the shoulder blades back and looking forward. We're going to gently press into the hands and lift the elbows as far as is comfortable for your back. Some people are going to lift up onto straight arm, but you don't want to feel like you're crunching your back. So it might just be a little lift. We're going to lift and lower. Keep pressing the tailbone down and that lift of the belly so that you feel like you're protecting your lower back. And we're exploring the range of movement there. For some people, you might need to lift higher to get your full range of movement. You can always walk the hands in a little towards you. Or conversely, slide the hands away. But lifting and looking up and lowering. Lifting and lowering. Good. We're going to put the hands under the forehead and just rest the forehead now down onto the hands. Relax your back, relax your legs. Wobble your hips or your pelvis from side to side. So you feel those joints between the sacrum and the lower vertebra, just nice and loose. Finding your breath. Good. We're going to put the hands under the shoulders now and lift as much of your chest off the floor as you can. Press the tops of the feet down, lift the kneecaps, so lifting the chest off the floor. And you might be able to lift your hands off the floor as well or keep them there if you find it helpful. Breathing. Lifting the chest, lift as many ribs off the floor as you can, looking forward. Beautiful. And then we lay back down and just rest the forehead onto the stacked hand. Feeling the flow of breath. Great. And we're going to try this cactus arms. So elbows straight out from the side, like to the sides of the body, from the shoulders, and elbows at 90 degrees. I can't quite do this one yet. And you're going to rest your forehead onto the floor. Good. And then we're going to lift the forehead and a little bit of the ribs off the floor. Good. Press your toes down, lift the kneecaps, tuck the tailbone down, and then we're going to try and lift the hands off the floor. Good. And then you're going to take your hands out in front, reach the arms out straight, and they're just above the floor, so a couple of centimeters between the floor and your hands, and then back into your cactus arm position. And again, arms out straight in front, back into your cactus arm position. Holding, beautiful, strong back. And one more. Nice. And then stack your hands under your forehead and relax. Relax your back body. Rock a little bit your pelvis from side to side. Relaxing those joints between the sacrum and the vertebra. Nice work. Let's take the arms back beside the body now. So straight. Rest onto your forehead for a moment. Relax your shoulders. And now for Salambasana, we're going to lift the face, the arms, the shoulders, lift the palms, lift the legs, and looking forward. Reach your fingertips back towards your toes. Reach the toes back. And nice, deep and satisfying breath. We're going to lay down. Lengthen your front body as you lay down and just turn your face to one cheek. Letting go. Good. And then we're going to lift up again. Bring the head back to center and looking forward. Lift the palms, reach the fingertips back, reach the toes back. Lift as much thigh off the floor as you can, as many ribs off the floor as you can. Breathe. And then laying back down, turn your face to the opposite cheek. Letting go. Shoulders relaxing, neck relaxing. Head back to center. And we're going to lift up one more time. Salambasana. Lift the legs, lift the arms, reach the palms up, the fingertips back, the toes back, looking forward. finding your flow of breath and energetic reaching. Lovely. And then laying back down. Great. We're going to bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press back up into your all fours position. Arching the spine up and down. Noticing the movement. When you have pressure in your hands, treat your hands with regard. So stretch the fingers out wide. Press the fingerprints. Base of the index finger, stretch the thumb. Nice. Now we're going to take the knees a little bit wider than we normally would for forward virasana. Big toes touching. So knees wide, big toes touching, and ease your hips back towards your heels. You can wiggle your knees wider if that feels good, or just place them where you need to. And we're going to take the arms and the hands forward as far forward as your shoulders allow, bringing your chest towards the floor. Nice deep breath. We're going to walk the arms now and the hands over to the left side. And so they'll be off the mat. And you reach your right arm as far as you can. And you'll really feel a stretch in the right side of your body. Letting the chest open towards the floor here, the earth. Good. And then we'll come back to center and walk your hands, your arms over to the right side and really reach with the left hand here. And then we let the armpits open and the chest open towards the earth. Finding your flow of breath. Good. And then back to center. Walk the hands in. Bring your knees in so your legs are parallel. Put your hands on the floor in front and tuck your toes under. And you're going to bring your sit bones towards your heels as much as your feet allow. And you can keep your hands on the floor, or you can bring your hands up off the floor. So you're sitting your weight down through the heels and stretching the toes. You can see how that feels. Okay, we're going to lift up. So I'm just going to put my hands on the floor, lift the knees off the floor. See how you go. And we're going to come up to standing. Otherwise, however it might work for you in your own time. We're going to come to the front, short front of the mat now. Everything feels like it's been moving. Nice. Feet under the hips. In your Tadasana, the inner arches of the feet lift, the toes stretch out straight, lifting kneecaps, quadriceps. The front of the hips, the belly, the breastbone, the top of the head. Relax the shoulder blades down. Lifting your arms up for Urdhva Hastasana as high and straight as you can. And then Uttanasana. And we're going to bend the knees, bring the hands in front of your heart. Put your hands on your legs rather than aiming for the floor for this first one. And we're going to arch the spine up and down. As you arch the spine down, you notice you connect more with the stretch in the back of your leg. So that's the stretch we're going to try and find. And as you arch the spine down, notice that the skin of the spine is more relaxed. Okay, we're going to hold the next spine arching down. and feel that nice stretch in your legs. You can make it stronger by straightening your leg or tipping your weight forward a little bit into the front of the feet, toes nice and straight, toe prints just touching the floor. So your back is relaxed here, but we really focus on that stretch in the leg. Good, and then bend your knees and inhale and come up. Arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Good, and then Uttanasana again. Bend your knees a little bit, hands in front of the heart. Reach your torso as far forward as you can. Find your legs stretch and that feeling of the bones of your spine embedding forward rather than the skin being taut. Put your hands where it makes sense, on your legs or on the floor. Taking some deep breaths here. With each breath, bringing the spine a little further forward and straightening the legs. Good. Okay, now we're going to try and put our hands on the floor and walk the feet back. So you can bend your knees as much as you need to get your fingertips down on the floor or your hands flat on the floor. And then we try to make little steps and walk your feet back with these little steps into a downward facing dog pose. Good. And then we're going to walk the feet forward. And we're just going to walk the feet forward and back. Now, if it's too difficult to get your feet up near your hands, just walk in the zone that works for you. I'm going to try and press the heels down. Walking the feet forward and walking the feet back. Try to get the fingers out nice and wide. Press the fingerprints, the base of the index fingers. All right, and then we're going to roll up and meet back at the front of the mat. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Standing forward bend. Feet are parallel. And you're exploring the stretch in your legs, but not your back. Back feeling really supported. Bones of the spine pressing forward. And finding your deep and satisfying breath. Great. And we're going to keep the hips where they are in space, but we're going to walk the body, the torso over to the left, or swing the torso to the left. Take the hands where it makes sense, on your leg or out on the floor past the mat. Lengthen the back of the neck, the sides of the neck. Really reach with your right arm. Take the right hip back a little. Knees might be still bent, or you can explore straightening. Breathing deeply. Good. And then we bring the torso back to center. And hands are going to walk over to the right side, either on your leg or on the floor. Really reach with the left hand. Take the left hip back. It wants to swing forward. Straighten through the legs. Sides of the neck long. Spacious for your shoulders. Finding the deep breath. Oh, really reaching the left hand. Good. And then back to center. And then we're going to roll up. Take your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. And Tadasana. Great. We're going to balance on your left foot. So lift the right leg up. And lift the knee as high as your back is happy to hold. So if you can lift your thigh up to parallel with the floor, that's great. Otherwise, you can keep your toes near to the floor, and you might need to keep them there for your balance. All right, and we're going to do an ankle circle with the right ankle. So pointing your toes and drawing a nice big circle. And the other direction. And you'll notice you really need to use your front core of the body to support your spine here. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Now, before we put that foot down, we're going to have a really intention about where it's going to land. Hip width and parallel. Great. And then balance on your right foot. Lift up your left foot. So we find where we're able to hold that and really employing the whole core awareness. Feeling your head balanced over your heart, over your pelvis, over your foot. Good. And then let's do ankle circles with the left ankle. And then the other direction. And then find in your mind first where that foot's going to land. And you seek out that position on your mat with just the skin of your foot. And then transferring your weight. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Balance on the left foot. Pick up the right foot. Find the whole core body holding the leg for you. Holding your balance. Good. This time point your toes and draw a big circle with the big toe. The thigh doesn't really move much, so we keep that still. So it's the lower leg, but what you'll notice is you're really activating in the hip. So that nice big circle. Remember, you can keep your toes closer to the floor if you need to. And then the other direction. Just keeping the head gently balanced over the heart, over the pelvis. Find your intention of where you're going to put the foot, hip width parallel. And then standing into the right foot, picking up the left foot. Employing your core awareness and finding your easeful balance. Okay, point your toe. So the thigh doesn't really move. We are exploring that movement with the lower leg, the foot. What the thigh is doing, you'll see, is tipping from side to side. Nice and strengthening for the hip, it stabilizes. Good, and then the other direction. And then you're going to find your intention of where the foot's going to land. Hip width parallel, beautiful. Let's do one more forward bend. Urdhva Hastasana, Uttanasana. Let your legs be the stretchy ones here and your back feel really supported. Find the flow of your breath. And with each breath, lifting and lengthening the belly out and over the legs, the top of the head reaching further out or down. Great. And then we're going to roll up. Nice work. Arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. And mountain pose. We're going to take a wide-legged stance facing the long edge of the mat. So step whichever foot helps you do that. Tuck your toes in, your heels out. And we're going to try and press the outside edges of the feet until the inner arches of the feet lift. Good. Lift your toes up. Stretch them out. Great. Lift the kneecaps, the front of the hips, the belly, the breastbone. Nice. Take the hands at the hip crease. Lifting and lengthening the front of the hips, looking up, lifting the chest. And as you exhale, we're going to lengthen the belly and the chest forward. Hands underneath your shoulders. Let's warm up the legs a little by bending one and stretching your other. You bend one leg, one knee, and lower the hips a little. The hips are moving from side to side as you explore that stretch on the inside thigh. Lift the pelvic floor. Good. Center the hips again, looking forward, looking up, and then we're going to walk the hands out without taking the hips forward. So walk the hands as far as you can from your hips. Give your shoulders a nice big stretch, the armpits, opening the armpits and the chest towards the earth, lifting the kneecaps, quadriceps, sit bones. Lovely. Walk your hands over to the left side. And we're going to try and reach the left foot with the right hand or in that direction. And let your ribs turn. Let the sides of your neck be nice and relaxed. And reach into your stretch where it feels good for you. Keep the kneecaps lifting. Keep the outside edges of the feet pressing. Feel that flow of breath. Prasarita Padottanasana with a twist. And we'll come back to the center. And then over to the right side with your hands. And if you can, you're going to try and hold your right foot with your left hand. We're going to lift the knees, lift the kneecaps, quadriceps, sit bones, sit bones. The back of the legs are lengthening. Sides of the neck are relaxed. And then back to the center. Nice work. Now we're going to come into a seated position. So think about how you might do that from where you're at. And you could jump your feet into a squat and then sit down, or whatever movements you need to make. That makes sense in your body. And we're going to finish off with sitting again. Finding your flow of breath. And that easy balance of your head over your shoulders, over your spine. Turning to the left side, we're going to just follow the flow of breath and feel what happens in your body as you let yourself explore your movement. Seek length and suppleness, or which is already available to you. Seek spaciousness. Follow your flow of breath back to center. Change the cross of the leg and turning to your right side. Following your breath. Being curious. Discovering length and space and suppleness. and back to center. And we're going to lay down. The blanket is going to go underneath your hips for bamboo pose. And the idea of the blanket is to lift the tailbone so that it feels really easy to balance your legs there. And if you don't get that feeling and it feels like a struggle, just keep your blanket under your hips, but put your feet on the floor so your core body can relax. Excuse me, got a tickle in my throat. Okay, if you can balance your legs comfortably, you might even like to do cactus arms or whatever feels good for your shoulders. You can just rest your hands on your belly if you like. Finding the flow of your breath. And feeling the effect of the inversion. This being upside down. Good. Bring the soles of the feet together and the heels in towards your torso. You can hold your leg with your hands. You can hold your knees or your ankles. Try and get as much of the soles of the feet touching each other as you can. And we'll keep everything else as relaxed as you can. Good, and then we're going to put the Baddha Konasana legs, that's with the soles of the feet together, down onto the floor. So the hips are still up on your blanket. Relax the arms where it feels good, maybe straight out from your shoulders, maybe cactus arms, or even just resting your hands on your belly. Feeling that deep flow of breath. Good, and then bringing your knees up, lift your hips so you can take the blanket out. So we're flat on the floor now. Bring the right knee into your chest as close as it will go. And hold your right foot with your left hand. And you might be able to hold your right foot with your right hand. So we've got the knee nice and close to the chest. We're just going to let that bent leg out to the right side, and your left knee can go left. So you've got some counter weight. We keep the hips level to the floor. So a half happy baby. Relaxing the thigh, the hip, the groin. Good. And then releasing that side. And then we'll pick up the right knee, and that's going to move in close to the chest. Good. You can hold with your right hand, your left foot, or you can hold with your left hand. But try to get the knee as close to your chest as you can. Good. And then we're going to let that leg out to the left side, and the right knee can fall out to the right. So you've got a nice counterweight, and the pelvis is broad. Belly is relaxed. And then back to the center and hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. If you had time for your own Shavasana, this would be a nice time to do it. Or if, like me, you need to finish your practice, we're going to roll over to the right side and come up to sit. Hands at the heart in Namaste. Take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.